Okay, so we're live. Let me just double check on our Twitter space. We're live. Yes, perfect. Okay. Thanks everyone for coming today. This is our final demo day of the Frontier Guild season 3. And before we start the demo day, today's agenda will be first, I will give the general public who's listening live on YouTube and Twitter right now the context about what is Frontier Guild and where are we today. And afterwards, there will be intros for the external judges today, Kevin from Graph and Graven from our ecosystem builders from Flow State. Right after, each team will have 10 minutes to present their project. After 10 minutes, there will be a Q&A session from the judges. All right. So without further ado, I will share my screen so I can give the public the context about what is Frontier Guild. Can everybody see my screen? Perfect. So what is Frontier Guild? Frontier Guild is a builder program launched by Superfluid to boost the ecosystem growth. It's not a hackathon, it's a community of hackers, and it's a community of elite builders working closely and working with the core team and working closely for the Superfluid ecosystem. The hackers will work on the high impact ecosystem projects. The funding, they will receive continuous funding every month, every 2 weeks. There's demo days to showcase the hackers' progress, the builders' progress. Today we are at the season 3, the demo day 4, the last demo day. So hackers' funding streams will be adjusted based on the judges' votes and in each demo day. So the judges have the power to select which one has made the great progress during the last 2 weeks. And based on that, the funding stream will be adjusted. As I said, today we are in the final demo day, the 4th demo day of the season 3. And we are really excited to see the progress the builders has made in the past 2 weeks. Here is our internal tool about how the judges vote based on their preference. So judges, you have each of you have 100 units to allocate to 4 out of these 6 projects. You can allocate based on your judgment today, and you can allocate, for example, 20 here, 30 here, 20 here, 30 here, but you can only select 4 projects out of the 6. If you have any questions for Kevin, for new judges who joined today, afterwards we can stay on the call. I can explain to you a little bit better after the call, but usually it should be quite intrusive and quite straightforward. All right, that's all on my side. I can stop share. And now, judges, would you please give an intro about yourself, who you are, so the builders are also more familiar with you. Kevin, do you want to go first? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Kevin Jones. I work as a developer relations engineer for the Graph at Edge and Node. And I also am a core member of the Build Guild supporting Scaffold ETH. I've been working on Ethereum since 2017 or so. And yeah, I'm excited to see you guys. So thanks.
Thanks, Kevin. Pleasure to have you. Now, Graven, I think everybody is already more familiar with you, but you can still give the general public about who you are.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Graven from Flow State. I've just been building in the Superfluid ecosystem for several years at this point. Been a judge now a couple times, so it's good to see everyone again. Looking forward to seeing the progress. But I just think programmable money streams are the coolest thing around in Web3, and so I like building with them. And we've built things like streaming quadratic funding, a lot of public goods focus, and building better systems to allocate money and make better decisions.
Great, thanks to have you, Graven, as well. Always helping us and help builders to build the best projects. And right now, as I explained, we are actually in a hacker house in the Rocky Mountains, and Mark is with us, Graven is with us, Breno is with us, and then Meow is also next to us. Meow, do you want to say something?
Very excited to meet some of the ecosystem builders in person finally. It's been fun. We traveled from Denver to here yesterday. Um, yeah, I mean, I also met, oh, actually, Patrick is not in the call, but anyway, so it's some of the people that I should have met 5 years ago, but I finally met recently. So very excited to see new projects or ideas popping up, and I hope my short stay here could also add to some color to the event, and definitely excited to get today's events rolling also. Yeah, thanks.
Cool, thanks. Now, without further ado, the stage is yours, builders who want to volunteer first for the first project to present today. Be brave, it's fine.
Yeah, I can go again. Oh,
Cool,
anyone else
Drave.
wants? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sure.
please go ahead.
Yes, I will share my screen. Hello, everyone. I'm Dhruv. I'm a builder out of India. Been doing on Superfluid for a while, and a big fan. And so, yeah, built PipeGate during this uh, guild, and here we go. So let me just quickly start the presentation. Yeah. So as we have some new judges here today, I will start from scratch. Presenting to you all PipeGate. What if every API call could pay for itself? And I like to call it stablecoin powered APIs. Um, to give a bit more of a context around the problem here. Uh, as a developer, I don't like using multiple API keys, and the experience is just not good. Uh, and then I could not pay in stable coins. So that's another issue. And like for a provider who is providing these APIs, they have to pay like heavy fees to these payment gateways like Stripe. And then they have to set up a complex custom authentication for implementing these APIs authentications. And so there was a better solution with stable coins and crypto rails. So the idea here is that you can monetize your API using stable coins based payment, which are happening on chain, and you can authenticate using your wallet keys. And so cryptography comes in here to help us authenticate. And so there are no API keys in this case, and the payments are instant. Like with Superfluid, you can just start a real-time payment, and that should just do it. And I'll tell you how easy it is and what has been the update. So with like when comparing this with the traditional approach, it simply gives us a lot of benefits. First of all, it's very simple and straightforward. And secondly, it's like using blockchain as the you could say the source of truth. So there is no infra being managed by a single party service. And then there is no fees because it's all on chain and stable coins are free to use other than the gas you pay. And the latency is also kind of comparable to traditional methods like 40 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds as well. And so we could not now use this method. And so from the last demo day, these are the updates. Uh, I focus mostly on kind of production, making it ready for production use. And so that's what happened in the past 2 weeks. I released the SDK version 0.5.0. The we can say it's a stable version, which can be used in production environments and on mainnets. And API Hub is something which is like a you can say aggregator or sort of a marketplace where you could find all the APIs listed by individual providers. And so it's also live on mainnet. You could practically use it on mainnet network as well. And the other big update is that the docs are now LLM friendly. And this idea was specifically from the fact that the pipe get these APIs where you can interact with each other by paying by paying using stable coins. The great use case is that AI agents could interact with each other by just simply starting a stream with their private key, and it can be all automated instantly. And so I feel that's a really good use case, and that's why I made the documentation LLM friendly. And that's kind of the demo today about. I will just show you a demo. It's a very unique one. And so to give some more context on how the growth has been in the past 3 months, I first time released these in the month of December. There were a lot of issues. And so during the guild and all, we have grown significantly. I had a total of about 2,500 downloads on the SDKs combined. So there are two SDKs, the TypeScript and the Rust. And so let's quickly go to the demo itself. And so the demo here today is around using a chat bot, basically in this case, a cursor, to integrate PipeGate in your application. I won't be doing much. It will all be done by the chatbot, and I think that's kind of the innovative thing here on how easy it is to do that. And so to start with, like basically, I had like written already these prompts, so we can just simply go with those prompts and start with. First of all, like to share more on how the setup looks like, I'm acting as an API provider here, and so I just simply set up a Rust-based server which has a single endpoint. Just returns hello world. And so practically I could just simply start with this where, so in this case, like what I'm trying to do is that I'm mentioning that I want to set up authentication for my server with this endpoint and using the Superfluid streams. The documentation is already in this llms.txt file, which is what we have here. Okay, so yeah. Let's add a bit of more context. And so, yeah, so here we have that LLM based, not bad. Yeah, so it will just, it mentions that I'm acting as an API provider here, and it will need to add the middleware, and then it should also register as a provider on the PipeGate hub. And then it will be charging 2 USDCX. Okay, the model does not seem to have the best thing. Otherwise, we will just try again. And so I will be trying to configure 2 USDCX on the base Sepolia testnet. And I already like had a server setup, so we can go next and start with this prompt. It will go through the documentation and start with integrating, like making changes. And so here we are seeing that it's trying to add the PipeGate SDK first, and then it is trying to integrate the thing. So let's just quickly let it do its stuff. We'll see how it goes. For the starter, it adds this PipeGate 0.5 version. I kind of should accept this. And then if you go here, it will pull in all the information and then configure the SDK according to my settings, and then should be able to see here like a proper configuration done. And I should be able to save, and yeah, it's done. It's just simply integrate the whole PipeGate. To share more what's happening behind the scene, it configures the SDK. So basically configuring how you want to receive and where you want to receive. And then it simply adds the middleware. That's the step. It's quite simple, but the LLM can do it itself as well. And so it's done. And now the next thing is to simply make the API call to actually register this on the PipeGate hub. So if you run this if you run this command, it should create this on the API hub. So you can see it made the call, API call to the register endpoint, and the my API was registered. So that's it for a API provider. These 3 simple steps, and it was all done by a chatbot. And so now we can go on and move to the next section, which will be the client section. So now, like let's say I'm acting as a API client. I want to use this API, which is gated by this stream-based middleware. And so I did this earlier as well. And the prompt here was very basic. Simply, it was trying to act as an API consumer, and then interact with an API which has stream-enabled payments. And then I have a script setup, which is a basic instance of Axios, and trying to make an API call to this endpoint locally. And that's it. And so what I'm trying to do is that, okay, I am not subscribed to the provider yet, so you should also subscribe to the provider by making a call to this provider, basically starting a stream, and then it will like start a stream of USDCX with this flow rate. And this is kind of the converted flow rate into 2 USDCX per month. And so if I just start with, we type this in, and wait. So we should also add a bit of context on what folder to do it in. it should do this in index.ts. And yeah, that's it. We can submit, and it should kind of prepare the whole thing. And we should see that happening here. In the meantime, I should also try to maybe, yeah. So we can see that it built out this command, this cast command to create a stream from my CLI itself. And so I could copy this here and just simply, yeah, just simply run it. Wait, oh, my bad. So I need to add this. And yeah, that should do it. So it is basically creating a stream from my CLI, like directly from the CLI. I don't need to go to any platform, and it's all can be done from the CLI itself. And so we can see the transaction was done, and it started a stream from my wallet to the provider's wallet, which we just simply set up earlier in this demo. And so now for the last step, we can see here that after creating a stream, it also imports the SDK, the Pipegate SDK, and then this simply sets it up, like simply sets the interceptor, which will be adding the signatures in each and every call. So signature is what we verify on the server side that the user is who they say are, and they can make the API call. And so we should also install the Pipegate SDK. It must have, yeah, it is suggesting us to install it. So let's quickly do that as well. Pipegate run install Pipegate. Okay. We just take 30 more seconds and be done with it. So yeah, the Pipegate SDK is in. We can save this. It should detect, and we should accept this. And all right, yeah, so that's it. Now we should be able to run this and quickly see it working. And so if I just do cargo run, it should cargo run, and it will build the server and it will start the server here. That's the first step. So server is started and it's listening on the port 8000. And if I now go and try to run this script, which is index.ts, it should start with, okay, wait. Just a second. I think there was something missing. Okay, yeah, I need to accept the file. One run index.tx. Okay, maybe there is something wrong. But yeah, bottom line is that it will verify this request and it will just go through. Trust me on this, and I can share some demo links which I did earlier. And that was what I did with this LLM thing. And so like we can see like it could be improved, obviously, but it works. It kind of works. And the plan which is what I'm working on now is this global API thing where you could get access to all of the AI models with one single API, and you don't need to subscribe to 10 different AI models like Claude and let's say Google and OpenAI. It will be done via the single endpoint, and you would be just starting a stream to my wallet, and you will be able to get the access. It's a big project, so it's in works right now, and I was hoping to demo it today, but I have a small like sneak peek on what it would look like. Basically, it's like what I mentioned. It's a gateway in between actually verifying the request and allowing you access to these models. And so that's what I'm working on. And there are things which could be improved in terms of security at onboarding, which is what I will be working on after the guild. And yeah, that's the demo. Sorry for taking it too long. And if you want to connect with me, you could email me or reach out to me on Twitter. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Drew. Very cool for the ChatGPT or the LM enabled user interface because lots of users are developers, so it might be the good choice for them to use it directly in Cursor. Any questions from the judges here about this API type of product? What do you think about it?
Yeah. Since we're in the same room, got to coordinate mics. Great job. Always brave live coding, especially with an LLM in there. So all good there. Have you thought more about, I guess, starting streams and stopping streams? Are people, how you're going to manage maybe adding some friction to that so that people aren't just like starting a stream and instantly closing it after an API call? Or how do you think about that?
Yeah, so for that, there is this listener which basically listens to your streams on chain. So once you start a stream and you make an API call to this endpoint, it will cache the verification status, and then it will listen to your stream status on chain. So as soon as you cancel the stream, you will not be able to access it again. So it's like there's a bit of friction. You would have to wait longer when you start making new API calls again. So I feel that's kind of a solution where that's how we attained the 50 millisecond latency because of the caching and the listener here.
Cool. And Kevin, what do you think about this type of API product, like directly for user to use in the cursor with an kind of LLM assistant?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a good convergence of like, AI and kind of traditional web and Web3. So it's a cool mix. I used to work for Nginx, so I find it interesting. It does make a lot of sense as well for like something like good example, the graph, you pay in GRT, and it's billed monthly. So this kind of like streaming idea is a really cool solution for like a typical, standard API. So cool use case. Thanks for showing it.
Appreciate your feedback.
Great, thanks. Maybe one question from my side is when you open the streams, I see like you have to kind of provide a private key to the bot itself or things like that. So about the security issues here, what do you think you're gonna make better security here?
Yeah, so this has been a big. I think it has been one of the biggest issues which people are concerned of, and so the idea here is that we could make like a session key which we could give to the bot, and so you make the payment from your own private key, which is not exposed to the bot, and the bot could still integrate using the session key, which is what creates signature. So for signature, you use a different key, and for payment, you use a different key. And so in this case, the payments are not sent from the key which is shared with the bot. And that's something I'm working on. It's a bit tricky to handle that, but maybe soon I will try. I will be able to crack it.
Cool. And during the conference I have at East Denver, some of them also just use AA, for users who have never like to simplify the user flow here as well. But we can discuss a little bit more how to make it more secure and more user friendly at the same time. But as developers, I think they should be knowing, how to separate private key and also other type of payment keys, so that they are also more flexible. All right, thanks, Drove, for your presentation. Now we're ready for the next one.
Okay.
Wanna go next? Yeah, Jinghao.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Cool.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So our project is called Deep Flow, and actually at the beginning of the Front Guild, it's basically designed a system to do the incentive program for open source contributors. And of course, in second, because we use Superfluid. But since has changed a lot in the last 2 weeks, I will show you later. But first, let me explain what we already built before that. Basically, we believe our solution is a deeper and smarter and real-time solution for the incentive problems for open source contributors. So what is deeper and what is smarter? From our perspective, we believe open source looks like a network. You're never on your own. You always build something on top of other work. And if you share your project, you will definitely save others' time. And that's the cool part of open source, because you don't need to do things again and again, right? But there's still some problem. Like there exists a lot of people, they even make a huge contribution to the open source world. And everyone rely on their work, but they still might be financially struggling in their real life. And how that happen? Because they usually build something like this, a brick, hiding deeply. Everyone rely on it, but barely people know it, and people don't care about it. And that's a problem. So to solve that, It basically means if you want to donate to some repo, you should never only donate to the contributors of this repo itself. You should also donate to contributors that contributed to this repo's dependencies. And unless you have system can automatically analyze the dependency, you can't do that. And that's what deep flow have done. And that's what basically why we call it deep flow, flow deeply, right? And the second problem is even harder to solve is how to evaluate the contribution. Let's say if you want to donate $1,000 to a repo, how much of each contributors should get from this donation? It can be decided manually, like drips, I believe they do in that way. But actually, their code is public, and we believe you can use some mathematic and graph-based model to solve that, and that's what we did. But there are a lot of research I don't want to say detail, and basically that's our system or what our system solve. And let's just go dive into our system to see how this stuff work together. So in the first page, there are some statics data to showcase our analysis ability. But what we really do is the dependency analyze, and actually it's happening in your in browser by using WASP. And after you've done that, let me show you a real, much more complicated graph. It's actually the dependency graph of ELISA OS because it's very hot. So it has a lot of dependency, it's complicated, and it has a lot of contributors. So the graph is huge. Actually, it takes some time to analyze it. And so how about the evaluation of contribution? In each of the repo, if you click it, you can see the leaderboard we provided by our system. And if you check the data from GitHub, you can find this aligned to the top contributors. And let me explain how the donation work. So first thing you need to do is to create a pool for it. Yeah, and after you've done that, you can just start the stream. And so the stream will directly go to all the go to all the developers contribute to it, and also there might be some problem anyway, and also go to the dependencies. And for the dependencies owner, he can do a similar thing to our platform, redistribute the flow he get and to all the dependency and developers. So basically, it means you just need to do one-time donation, and all the contributors of this repo itself and the dependencies will all benefit from it. And that's what deep flow basically means. We also do some like analyze by large language model to help you to decide if you want to donate to it. But it's something done. We'll show something really cool by large language model very soon. And how about how to get the calendar stream? Another thing we build so cool is that we donate not only to the wallet address, but we donate to the GitHub account because that time we don't know their wallet address if they are not register on our platform, and they usually never register our platform until they can claim some stream. So the only thing they need to do is to log in with a valid GitHub, and all the repo he contributed to our platform can be shown in this platform because we have a super powerful analyze backend, and you can see the stream here. And okay, so that's all the part we've done before last week, and we want to highlight something. One thing, the evaluation system, and another thing is the nested pool, so we can flow deeply. And the last thing is pay to anyone. It can help other to, like you can pay to Twitter account, to Discord account, Streamly. So that's all the stuff we already done before. And let's show what I'm super excited recently is we started to rethink what we're building. We're building a system to analyze tracing and do incentive based on some data on GitHub. So why not we rethink this problem? Where are this data come from? Like what are people really building on GitHub? Let's solve this problem from the start. So for example, AI engines already help us to write code, but we can use it to do more. For example, suppose I want to join a hackathon, like want to join the Superfluid hack house. We build a system called UBet before, and we want to integrate Superfluid with Ubuntu SDK to enable donations to Streamly. And it started to use some agent we wrote. After it's done, analyze, he decided what we shall do. And let's just use it to create some GitHub issues. And you can see in our the Ubuntu SDK is actually what I show this graph, and you can see the contributor is me and my partner. Okay, so and now the AI engine creates some new issues for this task, and instead we decide the effort after analyze. We can decide it before and let people discuss if the effort is correct, is reasonable or not, and suppose someone has finished it. The other thing we can let it do is like we can let it assign because we know what developers, because our analysis system, we know this developer skill set and we can send the task to them. And that's not finished. What we can do is we also discuss with Superfluid team and we discuss with virtuals. For example, this AI engine, if we have the analysis of the GitHub data, we can just like it to be a hackathon judger, just like what you are doing. What you're doing is actually trying to get some information from the presentation. But hey, it's a hackathon, right? The code matters. Actually, in this 10 minutes, you don't know what happened to all the competitors' code base, but our system has access to it. And with AI agent, we can see. So let me just do it for you. Yeah, and it's not a demo. It's really fetch data from the repo, and yeah, there might be some problem for the transaction. Let me do it again. Yeah, so actually, we are allocating 10% units for dependency and 19% units to contributors. And our system know how much contribution they did. And in the future, we can let AI engines to do more analysis. Like you can just, the best part is it can be changed easily by only set up some prompt. Like this AI engine focus on the business side, that AI engine focus on the innovation. We can build a AI search system easily to find if this project has been seen a lot or it's something that you never seen, right? And AI agent cannot do it itself. It must be collaboration with a very powerful analyze system built for GitHub, and we just change the weight, right? And you can see it. It's actually changed here. Yeah, in 56 seconds ago, and because we can do analyze, we can do it every time, and we don't have time to do the UI, but to use a command line based backed with AI agent, I think I really showcase our potential and really. And recently we are discussing with virtual team a lot based on the GitHub based agent, and with Superfluid payment and with our analyze system, we can definitely build something cool. And so that's all. And really looking forward to connect with all of you, especially the flow state, because we think we will do something similar, right? Yeah. Okay. And that's all.
Great, you finished just at the time, and really, your product has lots of cool features. And the recent one with the AI agent accessing the contributor or GitHub different levels of innovation and the code quality, etc. That's something we also see in hackathon judgings. Like we have before at East Global, we have really very limited time to see all the projects. And if we have an AI agent which can help us evaluate at the same time for the code base and on plus of what we do manually, that will be great already. So it's really, for me, it's very exciting to see the utility in the future and for, yeah, as you have said, cool advancement. And I always believe your team have lots of potential in shipping and doing different parts of the contribution evaluation for the GitHub repos. And then questions from the judges here. What do you think about? Yeah, Graven, please go ahead.
I can go first. I didn't want to go first twice in a row, but yeah, great job. I like the addition on the contribution side, contribution weighting system, being a little bit more proactive and not just impact reactive and dependency based. I think that's a nice differentiation from maybe where deep funding and the drips and the experiments with Vitalik are going. You see any other, maybe two questions, and you can pick one is, how are you managing the depth of the pools and how those, if you have like 5 levels of depth, is that possible? And or how do you see the differentiation from, how do you see your differentiation from like impact deep funding and the drip space model?
Yeah, I can answer all the questions. So the depth is very easy one to answer because if the depth is too deep, so the incentive actually will be very small because there is it's getting smaller and smaller with the deeper. Yeah, so it's reasonable to set a depth like 4 level or 5 level. Depends on what weight we set. And second thing about the difference with deep funding and drips, I think the difference with drips is very clear. Like our system can do automatically dependency analysis and automatically the weight decision by some model, but drips do it manually. It's hard to say which is better, but I think it has different use cases for different scenario. For deep funding, I think maybe we're quite similar, but currently we're trying to do more thing with AI engines. So let's just explore. Yeah, so I don't know. I think they are also very cool, deep funding. They also do some analysis problem. Yeah, progress, I believe.
Yeah. It's great. I'm super excited to see this, and yeah, you both can learn from each other, right? And so just keep pressing. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm looking forward to Superfluid. Gloid. The next session will like our system can be one of the judges. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Any additional questions here?
I'm curious how you do, because in your demo you mentioned that you send like directly to the contributor or like the maintainer of the GitHub. How do you generate a wallet for the user to make sure that those funds are, being
Yeah, actually, I have a graph, but I didn't prepare it. So basically, it's like we uh, we don't generate actually for each repo and each contributor will generate a contract address for them, and this contract is implemented by us. And they said if the it use some signature if the GitHub has OAuth passed, we'll give it a signature, and so it can claim from the contract. So our pool is streamed to the contract we create, and this contract can be accessed by the valid GitHub repo. And currently, the signature is actually controlled by our centralized server, but it can be done in a zero-knowledge way. It can be done in a cryptographic way, in decentralized way, but we don't have time to do that part yet. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool, very nice. And actually, in the beginning, there's the CPO of Eliza would like to join us, but he's traveling today, so the bad timing, he could not be here. But your presentation can definitely interest also Eliza and also, virtuals. Then we will share with them at the same time. Now it's on Twitter Live, so I can share with them afterwards, and then they can provide us feedback async.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Now, I think it's time for the third demo from the project teams. Anyone want to go third?
I can go next. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Shreyas, please go ahead.
Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Hi everyone, my name is Shreyas. and I'm building Fluid Funds. With me is Irfan. Let me just dive into what is Fluid Funds. Fluid Funds is a fund management platform that enables anyone to become a fund manager, and an investor can subscribe to these funds, which are created by the fund managers via a Superfluid stream. So the fund managers then uses the accumulated USDC by the investors to invest and manage the fund's assets. How it works, a fund manager creates a new fund on our platform, investor subscribes to it by streams. The fund manager executes the streams on a DEX like Uniswap. Both the fund managers and the investors can then see the fund's performance through our dashboard. The progress that we made past 2 weeks is, I'll just go directly into the demo to show you all the things that we worked on. Now, this is our platform where you can click here and see all the funds which are deployed. Okay, there's some issue in this reload. But yeah, so here you can see the total accumulated investment done currently via 3 streams and the current P&L of this fund. Now, if we go in the detailed analytics, you will see the fund details. Sorry, I think I'm wrong. Account. Yeah, so this is an investor account that I'm using for testing. This is the total amount of daily investment being done into this fund. And this is my current investment stream that I'm streaming and the token that I'm receiving back of that particular fund. We built an interface to track the positions for that fund. So this fund has these positions currently opened. These all tokens are the test tokens we provided liquidity to Uniswap manually on Sepolia. So you might see the price very different than the actual price for the token on the mainnet. And the performance history. So the data which is coming here is through Covalent APIs, which tracks the portfolio's balance, the address balance each day, and shows it here, the value of it. And the trading activity done by the fund manager. So if you go here, you will see the swaps taking place, and these are the active investors. Next is the leaderboard. So you see a leaderboard of all the funds here with the performance and the rankings for anyone to see and invest with. So what's next? The next thing that we were working on was the wallet prediction part. The data that you see here is all sample data. We didn't have time to actually completely build this, but we did build a bit of the front end. So the leaderboard that you see here are the top 10 forecaster addresses with the trading volume. So if you go in one of the wallet, you see the total value on the base chain is this, and these are the current holdings of that wallet. You can now try to place any bets that you want in this market. So we haven't built this, but this is how we are trying to go to market with and have a tool way of getting some users. And these are the predictions that we will have and the completed predictions here. Yeah, that's it from us. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Shreyas. Quite cool. I see you guys have made lots of progress in the past 2 weeks, and quite exciting to see the analytic table available for the fund, for the investor to see the details of the fund. One question from me or general, like you've built also the traditional finance type of product, which is fund manager have the fund, users can go to subscribe and then benefit from the yield from this fund. And then you also have this bootstrapping, which is like you have different top players in the base ecosystem, and then others can come and bet which wallet is actually doing the best trade. And this is actually 2 different product, I should say. One is more TradeFi, one is more like fun. People just go bet and then have fun. So right now we have to decide which direction is the best to go. So I want also to hear from the judges' point of view. Do you feel the TradeFi version will be the good way to go, or do you think it's too serious, like a crypto? Maybe we want to make it more fun. We want to use more, the copy trading direction to have more traction in the beginning. What do you think about this? Yeah.
I like the traditional look. I think it looks slicker. It's more professional. Although I do love this, the new, trying to attract new users in the crypto space that just want to do degen like stuff. But I think it's better for the industry to make it look professional like you did. That's my personal opinion.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, I'd agree. But maybe even or for another reason, it's like people are going to have fun making money. I think a lot of crypto people that are DeFi, degen are in it for that. And trying to spin up markets where you're betting, there's going to be less liquidity. Like if you want to make money, just copy trade them or invest in their fund rather than spinning up this other market where now you need to attract liquidity for you to actually be able to. I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun because it'll create some weird market distortions, and people are down with that. But I think I'd focus on the other side.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. It's good to know, we also want to have some serious product. And if the fund is actually generating yield for me, I might just subscribe to the fund rather than, search for the tokens by myself and try to find the best yield everywhere. So it's not that simple. Great. Any other questions from the internal judges here? What do you think? Fran or Youssef, do you want to add anything here? Nope, for now. Then we can maybe discuss after. Oh, yeah, Youssef, you want to say something?
No, nothing specific. It's just cool to see the advancement of all the projects. Not really, don't really have specific ideas around the project that Shreeyas has done, but congratulations to him and also all the teams that we see earlier for the advancement.
Yeah, thanks, Youssef. Okay, cool. Now we can go to the next one. And I say congrats again for all the progress for the past 2 weeks. Well done. Now, which team want to go next? Stream that fun?
We can go next.
Or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Lee, please go ahead.
Sure. Mark and I are going to split this, but let me go ahead and bring up the presentation. There you go. You guys can see this all right?
Yep.
Cool. All right, great. So Mark, Carrie, and myself, I'm Zenny.Ethan Farcaster, or you can call me Lee. We're presenting Stream.Fun, which is an AI agent super token launcher that launches streamable tokens powered by Superfluid with built-in staking rewards and automatic Uniswap liquidity. It's a very Clanker-esque token launcher built on top of Farcaster, but with some important differences that I'd love to give a little bit of an overview. When the only thing you can do with the token is sell it, most launches look like this, and so this is the initial problem that we're attacking. And those of you who have been here before have probably seen this slide, but I want to give you the overview as well as what our progress has been over the last few weeks. The initial launch for Stream.Fun and the theory behind it is we want to create tokens that incentivize holding and better align the incentives of the traders as well as the people who are launching the token. So Stream.Fun incentivizes post-launch holding by combining seamless deployment of tokens via AI agent, the natural network effects of launching directly on social, and the ability
Lee,
to get... Yeah.
Lee, just one thing, is your slide
up?
stays on the first one? Is it normal?
Is it stuck on the first one? No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have moved on. Thank you for letting me know. Let me try this one more time. I'll be. Hang on just one moment, and it should have moved on, but it's not. So Let me see why. Let's see. And I'll just talk double speed to do the rest of it. All right, I don't know what's going on there, so I'll do something else and just give you guys this. Cool. Yeah, so when the only thing you can do with the token is sell it, the launches often look like this. So we're creating tokens that incentivize holding. You launch via AI agent on Farcaster. You can cast the at stream agent with a text prompt and image. It's a Clanker inspired single-sided LP for instant trading. Launching a token is inherently a social thing. So even with a platform like Pump.Fun, you often see like the token has been launched and then somebody's copying, what's the CA? What's the CA? And so you have to copy paste it. If you launch on top of social, if you're able to do that in the thread or in the stream of social of a social network, then you don't have to do that context switching. And we'll come back to this idea in a little bit. And then, of course, this is built on Superfluid, and the magic with Stream.Fun is that you can stake for instant streaming awards. We use a pure super token. So when you stake the super token, and the initial launch has a 24-hour locking period, you get rewards streamed into your wallet directly. And so the rewards that you get for this initial launch version are of the same token that you've just staked. And so the words just keep coming in and incentivizes people to do something other than just sell the token after they buy it. Next up, I'm going to pass it to Mark to do a quick demo of the technical architecture, and then I'll walk you through a product demo and we can talk more about what the updates have been.
Okay. Lee's going to continue to share the screen while I talk about this here. So for those who are new, there are sort of three components here. There's the which is primarily as the social feed, the AI agent that lives on Farcaster right now, where you would request a token to be deployed. We also have the website stream.fun that provides token discovery and an interface for swapping and staking tokens. So in the middle, on the server side, we have the AI aspect of it and the server APIs. And these integrate with a set of modular smart contracts on base. We have this set up in a modular way purposely to allow for future experimentation and perhaps in a little bit, but basically it's set up such that you can add different hooks and different types of liquidity modules, different types of tokens even, and you can add on even a just yet, but it could be used to do some interesting things depending on what you want to do with your token launch. So right now we're including a hook that creates a automatic staking contracts with streaming rewards. And so you can see that aspect there with a Superfluid pool that distributes those rewards. So there's an incentive to be one of the first to stake because you get a big share of that at Firehose. We're currently allocating 20% of the token supply to those staking rewards, which gets streamed evenly over the first year. But as we go forward, we can play with those time frames. There's lots of different knobs that we can turn to try different things. So that's basically the technical architecture.
Beautiful. Yeah, so I'd like to, before we go into this progress, to just do a quick demo, and I'm going to switch back to not this screen. There we go. I'm going to switch back to the browser that I was on originally to do so. And we'll just work from here. Yeah, so this is Farcaster. Presume most of you have seen it, if not used it. And this is Mark launching a stream token. You can see he has a little bit of a story behind it and some music. And then here at the bottom, at stream, please create a token with the symbol and the thing. Very Clanker inspired. And here in this previous version of the frame, you can see there's a trade button and a share button. This is the confirmation that Stream has indeed created the token. We have the front end as well. And this is the Stream.fun front end. If you type in Stream.fun into your browser, this is what will come up. You can see all of the tokens that have been launched down here, as well as the rewards that have been distributed thus far to the various stakers in a particular token, and then the total rewards distributed together with some instructions on how to launch, how the system works. And then if you click on My Stakes, right now it takes you to the Superfluid portal where you can see all of the tokens that are streaming into your wallet right now. Eventually, we plan to take this My Stakes portal and make it a native Stream.fun thing, but it's lower on the priority list than other things. A few other parts of what we have. This is a particular token page for the Stream token. And so you can go through a swap flow, you can go through a stake flow, and then one of the updates that we have for this time that I'll demo or show you more in more detail in a moment is buy and stake. Let's go back to the slides. And where did it go? Here we go. Cool. So this is the 4th demo day, and we've had a lot of progress since the beginning. The original one was just product conception, initial diagrams, and things like that. And then testnet launch. Then this last demo day was the prod launch, and we were lucky enough to be an ETH Global Agentic Ethereum named finalist. We released the V1 frame, and partly due to the ETH Global announcement, we did over $1 million in volume and over 50 tokens launched. Since then, we've added a couple fancy features and also solved a lot of bugs on the back end. On the front end, rather. We have buy and stake in frame. One of the important things with the social experience is that you need to be able to do as much as you can without having to switch context. And so Mark was clever enough to figure out a way to streamline the buying and staking process where you can do it all in one click without having to go from one thing to another. And likewise, we added that to the web UI as well. We have a leaderboard demo that I'll show you in just a moment, some fee claiming upgrades, and then streaming reward stats and a lot more tokens launched. So this is the buy and stake. You can do it in a single transaction. It has slippage included already. It's on both the frame and the web. And so you can click this stake button down here at the bottom and immediately start earning. The other thing that's big and that's coming soon is leaderboard. So you launch a token, you get ranked based on your token's performance. And so this is for people who launch tokens. It's an incentive to experiment with the system, to play with the system, and to earn rewards based on it. Since last demo day, this is the progress. Very soon, we want to launch this leaderboard and do a little bit of a season 0 launch, V2 frame coming up as well, and then a launcher dashboard, and then finally the season 1 launch after that, I think is going to be a big push. Looking forward in general, I think you can think of Stream.fun as a laboratory for launching tokens. Mark mentioned while we were looking at the modular architecture that we have a lot of knobs that we can turn. And if you take something like the leaderboard with this gamification and all of these knobs that you're able to turn to see what works better than other systems, whether it's different periods for vesting, more of a pool, less of a pool, or so on and so forth. We have all of these things. And so looking at founder allocations and all of this stuff, all together, we want to increase the luck surface area for this platform. Token launchers succeed and fail by their flagship launches. If you have something like Banker or Native or Bracky or something like that, then your token launcher is inevitably going to do very well. Gamification and iteration mean that we have a better chance at long-term success. And that is Stream.fun. Happy to take any questions, as is Mark.
Very cool. I like the buy and the stake, very fluent user experience for you to ape in any tokens. And the leaderboard is quite cool for us to see like which token is doing the best performance. Of course, the differentiator is always staking so that people doesn't just pump and dump. So I want to know what's the judge's opinion about this differentiator, how it's a interface for you, and how the frame, you can go to just frame, launch a token, and then staking to a token directly. What do you think about the general user experience here as a launchpad?
As someone who's used the launchpads recently for my own fun, I would say that's really cool. I launched a few tokens myself, and it was a little bit of a letdown to see that it was like more of a casino experience than anything. So I think it's a cool idea. I hope other protocols follow suit, and I'm going to try it out actually. So thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
I think
Thank you.
there's really strong foundation, and like you guys are coming at this from the right angles. I really like the season idea and changing up the meta or the narrative with seasons and turning those knobs. I just encourage you to, if like I said, coming from the right space, you're trying to not just have the down only sort of chart that we've seen. See if there's other ways to like encourage, like, yeah, memes are great, but like what can a meme become after it's had a successful launch? If there's any tooling ideas, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's cracked that yet, but if there's a way to make it go from just excitement, social is great, we're gathering together, but how can that translate into some forward progress with these things? If your token launcher can include that, that would be super awesome.
I think, and Mark can speak more to this than I can.
Yeah. Thanks, Graven.
But
And
I
also, I think something, yeah, friend, go ahead. It's not you.
No, I think he was trying to reply.
Oh, yeah. Lee, please go ahead.
I think there's a lot to be said for how much the like founding team allocation, for example, or how long the pool of streaming rewards is set out and how much of the pool is streamed, and just whatever we can do to turn these knobs to align the incentives of a serious project wanting to do something and help it have legs rather than just swapping back and forth. So appreciate your comment, and absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And I think your module can also be useful for other launchpads. So like what Mark did, make it modular, probably you can sell your staking part to other launchpad as well, and initiate kind of like different conversations from different leads to see if it will be interesting for other launchpads. Great. Now, let's move forward for the next one. I think Daitva, are you ready?
Yes, yeah. Yes, hopefully you see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it.
So, perfect. Hi everyone, I'm Daitwa and I'm building this product called Streamline for the Superfluid Guild with my teammate Giovanni over here. And the AI agent meta is definitely not dead, considering we have seen the AI layer for every single project today as well. And so Streamline is an AI agent to streamline the Superfluid protocol. What I mean by that is that it's an AI agent that can help users understand the Superfluid protocol better. So the idea is that the user should be able to come to this bot and it should be able to tell them about their transactions, their streams, what the pools that they are part of, and any other Superfluid related usage that we have. Considering that the only way to get Superfluid information apart from your Superfluid dashboard is the Superfluid Explorer, which indeed says that it is meant for developers and advanced users, a product like this is definitely necessary. So we have tried out a bunch of things over this course of 4 weeks, like Agent Kit, Goat SDK, Eliza, Versal AI SDK. But the whole idea is that Superfluid still sits at the center of this protocol, and then all of this information is passed through these kits and relayed to the user. The idea for this bot essentially came from the Fluid agent that Yusuf built for Superfluid Discord. And this agent was a funny one, which you need to tell jokes to this agent, and then it gives you units in a certain pool, and then you are given a stream out of that pool. And the idea was essentially born from here. Over the course of this Superfluid Frontier Guild, we have added some PRs to kits like agent kits and Goat SDK as well. So anything that we have done over here, people can essentially fork and create their own use as well and use them for their own actions and own products as well. The roadmap for our product looked in three major steps. The first was to essentially incorporate the Superfluid protocol knowledge about streams, about CFAs, GDAs, and anything that was there into the bot so that the bot can answer. The second was the blockchain query capabilities. So using these forwarder contracts, it should be able to query the blockchain and then query any information relating to a particular address or a particular pool address. And the last and the third most complex part was to actually use the subgraph. So the Superfluid has its own subgraph, and it has all of these events, flows, and indexes. So everything is indexed over here. And we wanted to build a query generator depending on the query that the user asks, and then have it answer it. So all three of these steps were essentially taken care of by using embeddings for the first part. So we took the documentation of Superfluid and then had it convert into vector embeddings that we store in our own Postgres database and that the bot can access. The second part was accomplished using the Goat plugin. So like I told you, we added all such read actions using the CFA and GDA forwarder contracts so that it can query the blockchain. And the last one was the query engine, where we pass the user query, then find out what template it best matches for a subgraph, and then run that query through the subgraph. So to give you an idea of how this query actually goes through the query complexity, the protocol knowledge is a very simple one where you can ask any question regarding Superfluid, but not any address in particular. So what are distribution pools? What are units in those pools? And so on and so forth. Blockchain query goes one step further. So if you have the address of a particular user or the pool address, you can ask questions like what is the total flow rate or how many units does a particular address have in that particular pool. The subgraph query is the most general and the idealistic scenario where you can just say what pools am I a part of, and the bot knows what I is in this thing and address, and then it can index through all of those events and then find out which pools you're a part of or who are the members of a particular pool as well, because this also needs indexed information. Ultimately, we tried a bunch of things, like I told you, to Eliza and other things, and we found out what works for us best. But overall, we have learned a lot more about how to actually build an EA agent in such a scenario. We are now able to show you a demo, which I'll hand it off to Giovanni for this.
So, okay, so let's go to dive into the demo. Before that, let's take a quick look how the user flow works. So, Steelmite, as Daiba said, we have implemented during the last iteration the main feature for general knowledge, on-chain read, and graph query. And behind the scene, what it does is when the user interact with the Discord bot, it will evaluate if it can answer directly without querying anything. And if they require on-chain read, it will use the Goat Superfluid plugin. And if they need a more complex, more advanced information, it will use the subgraph query. So this is the flow of the subgraph query, which is the more complex one from these three features. Here is some query that we can try with the Discord bot. For example, the most basic one, the knowledge base. We can just ask, for example, what is Superfluid? And I would receive immediately a response as it doesn't require any query. Then we can ask something more that require on-chain information. So we can ask, for example, read how many units does this address has in the pool. It says 30 units. And then we can go further and use, for example, a subgraph query with ENS resolver. As we can see, the subgraph query is a workflow with several steps where we have to plan which subgraph URL we have to use. So we have to use, for example, in this case, base, so it will resolve the base URL. And then we have also need to use the ENS validator to resolve the ENS to an address. Here we go. So we ask what pool specific this ENS is meant part of on base, and it will return as like it's on a pool with 5 members and 300 units in total. It's streaming USDCX. So looking forward, we have here the challenge that we need to overcome is the reranker. Currently, the template for the server query, we have stored it as an embedding on a PG vector. So it's right here. So the base description that match the user request, it will return the correct subgraph query based on the embeddings. And to improve the matching, next step is to also implement our ranker after the retrieving the embedding. And also another thing is the stability. A problem that I encountered while developing the subquery workflow agent is the several steps, and when it breaks in one of the steps, it's hard to debug, and it also crash. So there's a stability issue right now, and also because we are using several AI agents, the probability of hallucinating is also compound. And another thing is it requires better workflow or agent debugging tools. As currently, when one of those steps fails, it's not very clear where it fails. So I'm adding a lot of console log, and that is how I'm debugging right now. I think I will find more like a UI friendly debugger that help me build a more complex workflow agents one. That's it. Thank you for your attention.
Cool, thanks. I see you guys have achieved really the merging from the knowledge base and also the on-chain queries together. I'm quite curious, how do you solve this problem? Because before you said ELIZA has kind of an issue to actually have the character and at the same time also be able to do on-chain queries. And yeah, quite curious. How did you guys solve this problem?
One thing that we did is we started at the beginning with ELIZA because ELIZA provide a lot of tooling, especially it enable you to use any platform like Discord, Telegram easily. It provides you plugins, so you can just use one plugin and everything should work. So at the surface, it looks like a good tool, but actually, it was making our life way harder. Every time when I try to implement something more complex, there's always something that break. And after several attempts with ELIZA, we just try to solve it by building from scratch. So the last version, the version that I showed today, is one that I built with Discord.js for the Discord integration from scratch. For the AI, I use Versa AI, which they have a very good documentation, and also it doesn't break as much as ELIZA. And then, yeah, we worked on those two separately. So the challenge was also how to merge them together. We just need to make some modification, for example, for Goat, which is framework agnostic. So it was easy to switch it from ELIZA to Versa AI.
Yeah, also in addition to what Giovanni said, what we mainly realized was that ELIZA was a bit of an overkill for us. I started with the code plugin itself, and the code plugin can be used with multiple other frameworks as well, not only ELIZA, but let's say Vercel AI SDK as well. And it's great if you want to use a lot many other plugins inside one particular bot and have it tweet out and Discord and have a character file as well. But all of these features were not really necessary for us, and it just yeah, again, like Giovanni said, made work harder for us. So we switched to a much simpler approach where we did it from scratch by ourselves, and that proved to be much helpful.
Cool, thanks. It's always good to, test different AI templates and know which works better for you. And another part I'm quite interested about this agent is a subgraph query. But in the beginning, Giovanni has been quite a lot of difficulties about the dynamic pump up and embeddings, and that's why it has kind of, he created the mapping between the query and also the embeddings, and then it allows the Discord bots to actually reply better. So I don't know, do judges, what do you think about that? Yeah, do you have any advices?
Yeah, I'd actually love to see that. That's actually what I was asking about the source code, because I'd love to see how you built that. I assume it's maybe a tool extension or some kind of like action that's being added on to the agent. Is that correct?
Your question is how many tool we have added to the agent, or
Like how you're doing the subgraph query in the agent. Is it a custom action or a custom tool, or you're using Eliza, correct?
no, we in the current version we are not using Eliza anymore. We did that in the past iteration, and we've encountered issues. So for the subgraph query, we built it from scratch, so we didn't use any plugin. So how it's open source, so you can find it later. I can send you my GitHub repository. To better explain, I can show you this graph, how the subgraph query works. So there's a first agent that is the planner. This agent is the coordinator that decide what next step the AI agent should do. So as first tool that also everything is created by me, it's the chain resolver, which like if the user said what this information on base, it will resolve base to the subgraph query on base. And then it will pass all the human inputs like USDCX or druv.is. So those two addresses. So we have token validator, ENS validator, and then we will provide, we will use the, as I said, the template. So convert the user description to the best description and use embedding to match the subgraph query. So then we use the subgraph query and we go to use the GraphQL request, and we fetch using the template. As we can see, we also need to provide the variable. So we use template, we inject the variable that we pass from the previous steps, and then with the raw result, which is like a JSON file, we use a synthesizer AI agent to return a more human-friendly response to the user.
Cool. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Really cool. Any other questions from the judges here?
I guess as you as you play this forward, do you guys see yourself working more on generalizing these tools for other sorts of knowledge, or maybe taking this towards like turning knowledge into action with this and doing more like transactional stuff? Where do you guys see this going?
I think that maybe it can be both, because as we start adding more feature, it can get more more complete, and we can individualize as part where we can modularize that part. For example, we can make the plan query a plugin, and we can build it as a Go SDK, so everyone can use it. We can this way generalize that, but we can integrate that also into our own project. So we have a specialized agent for Superfluid, but we use part from it, like we modularize and make them plugin that everyone can use and benefit from it.
Yeah, also this bot was mainly made for read functions. So the plugins that we have used and added to the agent kits as well is more of read functions. But like the Fluid agent by Yusuf, which actually updates the member units in a pool and then starts the stream to the person as well. You can just add those certain write functions to the SDK, to the Goat SDK, and then it would be able to perform those functions. For other protocols as well, if we are able to condense their doc information into vector embedding, which is searchable enough for a bot, and they have a subgraph template that we can use to create other template queries, I think that should work for any other protocol as well.
Yeah, great. Good job, guys. Well done. All right, guys, we have one more team, but Neza is actually sick today, so he cannot really present. I'll just go briefly what he has made as progress. So what he has been focusing, let me just share a little bit the screen. So before, Astra Block is a game that you can shoot blocks and it's launched on Frames as a mini game on Frames. So you can just go, the original game is you go inside the game itself and shoot different blocks and you will earn continuous rewarding. And now what he has done as progress here is you can play as teams. So you have to go to his shop, spaceship shop, and then mint your spaceship. So it will represent you as one team member of this group. For example, you can do a Superfluid or Degen or base team, and afterwards you are playing as a team and you can gain points as a team together. So that's one of the features he wants to bring on top, so that more teams members can engage in together and bring more users to Astra Block as general. And last time he presented is you can actually mine sources on the, so it's not just playing shooting blocks, but you can also, play together to mine some sources on the game assets. This will also allow users to have different game features other than just shooting the blocks. So that's pretty much what Astro Block has done for the past 2 weeks. Due to the healthy issue, Neza cannot be with us. But I'm really also feel grateful for the progress that every team has done so far. And today it's our last demo day, so I want to congratulations to everybody who has done great progress through all the season. And one like Stream.Fun has already launching prod, and I can see the agent has made a very good progress also. It's always not easy to start from 0 to 1, and to do a Superfluid agent has some different difficulties you have never encountered before. So well done this on the progress so far. And also Shreyas and Afran has been working on the fluid fans. They have not really, there are lots of front-end features you have to develop and to see what will be the most relevant to users. So all the teams, and also Qinghao has done the, open source contributor, and they have done lots of resource on how to do it properly, and also increase later this week with the AI agent to evaluate the progress of each contributor and the impacts and credit for each contributor. It's really innovation here. And Dhruv has done for the API part, like users can just go to Cursor and subscribe and launch an API permissionlessly. So it's all the very cool projects here I see today, and I'm very proud of each team, and really feel great for each team for all the progress you have made so far. And we will continue working with you to bring them projects into market. So bravo to everyone. And any final words from maybe you want to say here? And also thanks for all the judges to come here to bring us very good feedback to the project teams.
Yeah, thanks to all the hackers, thanks to all the judges. It's been really fun to see everybody's progress over these weeks. I think we've explored a bunch of new use cases, and we've seen some products go live, which is always exciting. And I hope that this isn't the last for your projects, right? I've been following some of you guys' work very closely, and I think it would be a real pity to stop working on it because I see a lot of potential. So if you're interested to keep working on this and you want more advice, just hit me up and we can discuss what your options could be, potentially for funding or other options to keep working and keep the project going. Right. The whole purpose of the Frontier Guild is to help you go beyond the stage of a hackathon project, right? So hopefully we've done that, right? You've built something that you're proud of and that you want to take forward. So if that's the case, yeah, just hit me and Yao up and we can discuss what your options are going forward.
Cool. Yes. And this week we have the Hacker House here. So we are also going to incubating some POCs for new builders for the next season. We will have more ideas for you to explore. And for the builders in this season, we'll continue helping you to go to market, as Fran said. And I cannot wait to work with you all after this demo day. Let's continue working together and bring everything into the market and let the users see how great we are, this builder community, and how cool the projects are. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Let's stop here. See you in the next one.